Where there's so much water, you don't know what to do with it. You know, it's called rain. It rains a lot in certain places. But no, their idea, you know, did you see the other day? They just put, I opened it up and they closed it again. I opened it, they close it. Washing machines to wash your dishes. There's a problem. They don't want you to have any water. They want no water. And I was with...
And you were just listening to former President Trump, and we're going to talk about some of the things he was discussing there. We'll be right back with final remarks.
When your speech is so unhinged that Fox News can't even go with it, you know you've gone off the deep end, into the water, full of sharks and whales and cancer-causing windmills, etc.
They had to cut away from the washing machine thing.
What do you talk about with that? Like, what's the analysis of drip, 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 green hair? Fox News cut away from Donald Trump's speech rally in Philadelphia on Saturday as he droned on about low water pressures in homes.
Washing machines.
Washing his hair,
Sharks.
how he likes a lot of lather. Imagine if Joe Biden did this, by the way. It would be 24-hour coverage of Joe Biden losing it. But this... they just go to break.
As the presumptive GOP presidential nominee blathered on about low water pressure in homes and washing machines, something that he's done in the past and led to the birth of an icon.
We have a situation where we're looking very strongly at sinks and showers and other elements of bathrooms where you turn the faucet on in areas where there's tremendous amounts of water, where the water rushes out to sea because you could never handle it. And you don't get any water. You turn on the faucet, you don't get any water. They take a shower and water comes dripping out. It's dripping out, very quietly dripping out. People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once. They end up using more water. So EPA is looking at that very strongly, at my suggestion. You go into a new building or a new house or a new home and they have standards on where you don't get water. You can't wash your hands practically. There's so little water comes out of the faucet. And the end result is you leave the faucet on and it takes you much longer to wash your hands. You end up using the same amount of water.
Fox News were forced to cut into its live feed of Trump's address for analysis.
We're going to talk about some of the things he was discussing there.
Something that you'd think would set off alarm bells around Trump HQ, right? When Fox find you too incoherent to transcribe, something's not right.
No water in your faucets. You ever try buying a new home and you turn on, they have restrictors in there. You want to wash your hair or you want to wash your hands. You turn on the water and it goes drip, drip. The soap, you can't get it off your hand. So you keep it running for about 10 times longer. You're trying. The worst is your hair. I have this beautiful, luxuriant hair. And I put stuff on. And I put it in. Lather. I like lots of lather because I like it to come out extremely dry because it seems to be slightly thicker that way. And I lather up and then you turn on this crazy shower and the thing drip, drip. I just say, I'm going to be here for 45 minutes. What the... They put restrictors, and they put them on in places like here where there's so much water you don't know what to do with it. And I was with water.
And you were just listening to former President Trump, and we're going to talk about some of the things he was discussing there. We'll be right back with final remarks.
Right.
But it tickled me to see, and I wasn't the only one. Morning Joe host Joe Scarborough, who deemed Trump, quote, off his rocker, commented,
The Trump people have belatedly figured out that lying about Joe Biden's incoherence and doctoring tapes to suggest he's not coding was a bad idea. And now they're trying to like reverse track and say, oh, no, he's a good debater and maybe he's going to take drugs and he should be drug tested because he's going to end up doing so well. I'm not going to do that here. Donald Trump, when you look at any of his speeches front to back, looks like he's off his rocker. It's crazy the things he says. It's crazy what people stand there and applaud for. Here, they just look thoroughly confused, and Fox News had to cut away because they're like, I got nothing here. I got nothing.
Yeah, what do you do with that?
And another thing, right? Can we pause for a second and just imagine this was Biden talking drip by drip about someone's water pressure? There would be endless coverage to the tune of Obama wearing a tan suit on Fox & Co. But just because it's Trump, he just gets a mic cut and nothing else. And this is why it bugs the life out of me, right? When the likes of Fox News hosts or Piers Morgan holds a bipartisan debate, which is just an amnesia-filled discussion about mental acuity without ever touching on how blatantly unhinged Trump is. How many times he has confused people's names, places he's in, leaders of other countries.
I think he should take a cognitive test like I did. I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Dr. Ronnie Johnson. Does everyone know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas? He was the White House doctor. How good did Elise Stepanek do? You know, we've endorsed Dr. Oz. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, and he's doing great. Jimmy Connors is good. He's also happy. Mike Bolton, John Bolton is here. Mike Bolton, as you know, is in Russia.
And there was progress today. I look forward to solving it.
Thank you, Steve. It was Trump's fault. It's always Trump's fault. Can it ever be like Rick Gates's fault? I mean, it's always Trump's fault, Rick. By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, you know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it. All of it. Because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people. We have some of our great business leaders and leaders, period, right behind me. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. Yes, please, Mr. Kurd.
Thank you very much for your time.
You know what was interesting? Joe Biden won against Barack Hussein Obama. Has anyone ever heard of him? Arrest their leading political opponent, leading by a lot, including Obama. I'll tell you what, you take a look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done. And Putin, you know, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word today. You heard that, nuclear.
Thanks for giving your first comments on the bill on this show. It means a lot to us. We appreciate it, sir. Thanks a lot.
You have a deal. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Joe Bright, this guy is just the worst. So will Christian ever run for president against you? And you heard the prime minister, you heard maybe have Matt Blum speak next, because he's been so incredible in so many ways. He fights so hard. He loves his state. He loves the people. Think of it, a new branch of the United States military, United States Armed Forces, called Air Force.
I mean, it's so bad at this point that Fox News have to cut away because they're like, what are we going to build upon? How can we frame a segment around this? They have nothing.
Fake alert. We just got another one of those unedited videos of the president acting like himself that drives the White House insane. Joe Biden seen shuffling at the speed of an elderly man with a poor memory as he gingerly makes his way across the tarmac to Camp David. Right now, he's holed up for the next several days with nothing else on his schedule except to cram like crazy for this CNN presidential debate. A lot is riding on the big guy.
So there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, you know, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark. So we're going to end that. We're going to end it for boats.
And his speeches are only getting worse. So much so that even when you put an eloquent British accent over it, it's still impossible to stomach.
I'm Anthony Davis, and here's a transcript from Donald Trump's New Jersey rally where he somehow connects immigration with fictional cannibalism. All over the world, they're emptying out their jails into the United States. They're emptying out their mental institutions into the United States, our beautiful country, and now the prison populations all over the world are down. They don't want to report that. The mental institution population's down because they're taking people from insane asylums and from mental institution. You know what the difference is, right? An insane asylum is a mental institution on steroids. Silence of the Lamb. Has anyone ever seen A Silence of the Lambs? The late great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. He sometimes would have a friend for dinner. Remember the last scene? Excuse me. I'm about to have a friend for dinner. The poor doctor walked by. I'm about to have a friend for dinner, but Hannibal Lecter, Congratulations, the late great Hannibal Lecter. We have people that are being released into our country that we don't want in our country, and they're coming in totally unchecked, totally unvetted, and we can't let this happen. They're destroying our country, and we're sitting back, and we better damn well win this election, because if we don't, our country is going to be doomed.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.